Welcome. I'm Mike Fatasi, and thank you for joining me in today's video where I wanted to talk about chronobiology and how that affects your health and your weight. Now, chances are you haven't heard of chronobiology unless you're really into fitness and nutrition and science, but you probably have heard of circadian rhythm. This is your biological clock that is set by the cycles of night and day. So chronobiology is the study of how your health is affected by the day and night cycles. Now, if you've ever missed a good night of sleep, you know how terrible you feel the next day. That's because sleep is the body's opportunity to rest and rejuvenate and to repair the body's cells. So we obviously know it's not good to miss a night of sleep or to get poor quality sleep, which we can gauge by how terrible we feel. But a lot of people don't realize how it affects the body in general and all these cycles that we have. Our circadian rhythm controls a lot of things. It controls our blood pressure, controls our rate of breathing, it controls our body temperature, and it controls our metabolism. So that's a big surprise for most people. And it surprised me when I first started studying the science of chronobiology. Well, if you miss out on a night of sleep, what a lot of people also don't realize is that a lot of hormones get disrupted when you get poor quality sleep. And the chief appetite hormones of ghrelin and leptin are no exception. If you get poor quality sleep or you miss sleep altogether, you'll find that you have this abnormal hunger the next day, and you'll end up eating when you aren't really hungry. So that'll lead to overeating and weight gain. So it's important to get sleep to make sure that these hormones are working correctly for the next day. The other thing is that it's important to schedule your eating or to have your eating patterns during daylight hours, because it turns out that after dark your body slows down. So your breathing rate starts to slow down, your body temperature goes down, and yes, your metabolism slows down. So if you're in the habit of eating after dark or eating late dinners, eating especially heavy dinners, then it's a good chance that a good portion of those calories will be stored as fat because your metabolism is slowed down. Interesting healthcare system, one of the oldest healthcare systems in the world that comes from India, is called Ayurveda. And they've been recommending this for centuries, that the most important meal or the biggest meal that you should have is in the middle of the day, which is your lunch. They recommend a kind of a medium-sized, well-balanced breakfast, having your biggest meal midday at lunchtime, and then having a very small light dinner towards the evening time, if you have anything at all. If you're not hungry, then you shouldn't eat. So as always, let hunger kind of be your guide. So it turns out that you really only want to eat during daylight hours. So here's some takeaways that I took away from studying chronobiology and Ayurveda and how those two things meshed. So the first one is you want to get high quality sleep, because if you don't, then it's going to affect your hunger levels to abnormal in abnormal ways that are going to cause weight gain. So you definitely don't want to do that. And if you think about another interesting thing, if you look at sumo wrestlers, they purposely get up in the middle of the night to eat so that they can gain weight, because that's part of the sport, is gaining weight. So if you don't want to gain weight, don't do the sumo wrestler diet, okay? The other thing to take away from this is that you should only eat during daylight hours. This is because this is when your metabolism and your digestion is the strongest. So it's the most likely time for you to turn calories into useful energy, okay? So those are the two takeaways that I hope you get from this. I hope this helped you in some way. This is something that you can experiment and play around with and see if it works for you. Remember, it's not a hard rule. It's just, interesting science and something that you can experiment with to see if it works for you. So thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a like and share it with friends and family. Until next time, be healthy, be happy, be extraordinary.